ask you a few questions. The first question is, what would you do for entertainment if you had a disability? The second question is, how can you help someone who has a disability? Let me give you a moment to think about that. My name is Elise Crumpton, and I am from Seale Middle School. Over the past few years, I have been trying to get as involved in my community as I can through service learning. If you had asked me these questions just 2 or 3 years ago, I may have had an answer like, I don't know, to both of these questions. Now, I don't blame you if you had no idea how to answer these questions, because that's what I'm here for. I want to inform you and tell you how you can help. First of all, there are many things that disabled children and adults could do. Organizations like Special Olympics and Miracle League have created programs to make it possible for disabled people to participate in sports and other activities. They created programs allowing them to participate in activities like basketball, baseball, choir, dance, and more. I personally have the most experience helping with Special Olympics basketball, so I will talk about that the most, but I will talk about the other options as well. Now, some of you might be thinking, why? You might be thinking they wouldn't need any of this, and it's pointless. I'm not trying to call you out, and don't feel bad if that's what you were thinking. The reason these things are needed is because their minds need stimulation, just like everyone else's. If you were stuck at home constantly, like we were in March and April, you would get extremely bored and possibly depressed if it went on for long enough. The same thing would happen to someone with special needs. While some may think a little differently, humans are still very social and active creatures. Also, those who have strictly physical disabilities need these things possibly even more. The thing is, sometimes people who really need to know that all of this is an option don't. There are some children who really need this, and they just don't know about it. That bridges me into my next topic. The organizations that do all of this are nonprofits. The sports need volunteers to help coach the teams and run the tournaments. Choir and dance need people to work with the kids and set up rooms to practice in. These things are just simple things anyone can do, but they need a lot of people, and sometimes they struggle to get enough. Now, even after all of this, you may not be convinced of why you should help. Let me tell you a story. During my entire time at elementary school, there was a kid named Josiah. He had some type of disability. I don't know exactly what it was, but it's not important. Kindergarten through third, I knew he was different. Everyone did. My best friend was extremely loving and caring, and always tried to talk to him and be nice to him. I, on the other hand, was not as welcoming as her, and was, regrettably, somewhat scared of him. In 4th grade, though, I started going with my brother when he would do services. At first, he only did Miracle League, which was baseball, and I would only occasionally help, since I didn't have a reason to do services, seeing as I wasn't in student council. In Miracle League, though, you only go to the games, and rarely get paired up with the same kid twice. Even though you never really got to hang out with the kids, it was enough for me to start talking to Josiah and not be scared of him. 5th grade was when I really started changing now. My brother and I found out about Special Olympics basketball. This is run a little bit differently because you're basically a part of the team. You're invited to every practice with the same team, and they love if you come to watch the tournaments. In my first year, they didn't have enough team members, so I even competed in the tournaments. I really bonded with the entire team and became good friends with all of them. Because of service learning, I completely changed how I look at people with special needs. In 5th grade, I even met a kid who has autism. We became pretty good friends and still are to this day, and that would have never happened without service learning. Now that I've given you all of this information, I hope you are wondering how to get involved. The easiest way I know of is to go to specialolympics.org, click on Get Involved, become a volunteer, and then select your state. It will give you a direct way to contact them and get involved. You can also get involved with Miracle League by going to miracleleague.com. I hope I've been able to convince you to go and get involved in your community. You could really help someone with disabilities and completely change your perspective. Thank you for listening, and please go get involved in your community any way you can.